Throat singing, Khoomei, Khoomei, Kai. There's a lot of words for it, and there's definitely a lot of history behind it as well. Throat singing was developed by the ancestors of nomadic Turkic and Mongolic peoples in Central Asia as a way of vocalizing, which goes beyond just your natural voice. And it is very complex, and there's a lot of people who want to understand it, and there's a lot of people who want to learn it as well, and I've actually been asked many times to make a tutorial, so here it is. Full guide how to become a throat singer. If you follow this step by step, because you could do what I did and learn it through trial and error, or you could get information that will make your journey more time saving. You know, you could save a lot of time by getting some tips. So to learn throat singing, the first thing that you need to do is the first step is understanding the concept of closing your voice. So this is very important. When I did this, my voice is not closed, and now it's closed. This means closing your voice. This is the first thing, and you need to understand this concept because you'll be using it further on. Second step is the smoker's voice. So you learn this voice is kind of like a whisper, almost in a lower range, lower than how you speak, or at least the same pitch as when you speak, but not any higher. It's like almost like a whispering voice, kind of sounds like this. You see that this is the smoker's voice. So practice with this for a few weeks, and it's not even singing at this point, just speaking with it. And then you get to the third step, which is applying the first step to the second step. So you're applying, you're closing the smoker's voice, which as an end result, after many, probably even months of practicing, it should sound similar to this. Oh, I've just closed my cigarette or smoker's voice, and now I get the Tuvan Throat Singing voice. And at first, just speak with it. Obviously, it won't be good at first, like it will be weak, and you'll have to practice for months to get a stronger voice. And if you practice like this, you can sing one note as well, oh, or a melody, oh, and develop a strong Khoomei voice. This was the third step. The next step. Now you have the overtones, which basically, let's start with Khoomei, the main styles. I'm going to do the main styles, the Khoomei style. You start with your Khoomei voice, this voice, in a medium range, kind of like the same range when you speak, unless you speak on a very high pitch, like you're around girls or something, but kind of like you'll be using this round mouth, and you notice that there's kind of like, if you use your tongue in a similar way to when you whistle, you notice that there is an overtone which is exactly, this one is exactly 2 octaves above your fundamental, which is your voice. This is the scale you start with, slowly. Practice this scale. After you've practiced this for a significant period of time, you can learn to add in a little bit more overtones. I'm already going a little fast, but you do it slow. You do it slow. I'm giving a wrong example here. You can do that too. You notice, you know, that little bit there. Now we learn Sygyt, second main style. Same note, same technique from the throat, the same voice. Now you put your tongue like, no, okay, on the roof of your mouth. Like in English you have R, you just put it on the roof of your mouth. So you get, and obviously you'll have to practice with your actual singing to learn to do it properly. You get like the overtone that is, again, same thing though, that is like 2 octaves above your fundamental. Slowly. And obviously it takes a long time, years to be able, but you start to get that, right? Like after years of practice, you're starting to get the sound. Don't force it too much. Don't force yourself to be more quiet than you would not naturally be. If you're uncomfortable because you have to hold your voice because if you're afraid of, I don't know, bothering people or something, then choose a place where you can freely sing and you can be loud and nobody cares. The next step is Kargyraa. So with, gonna go out of remain like that. With Kargyraa, you basically have a lower note. Like the lowest note you can sing. Kind of like 4 notes above the lowest you can sing. For me, this would be the best. Best notes will be like, this is my range, but obviously people have slightly different ranges based on like what's the lowest note you can sing in your voice as well. So it's basically like a guttural voice, and then you have that subharmonic as well. So you're singing another voice, you're singing a voice that is 1 octave lower than your actual voice, and you're singing both of them at the same time. It's based on your real, I'm not saying natural, but it's based on your real voice, so your real vocal cords, but you also have those false vibrating. And it doesn't have to sound like this from the beginning. It probably won't tell you what, it probably won't sound like this from the beginning. And obviously people have different, for some people it sounds a little deeper because the subharmonic is stronger. Some people sounds like in my case there's more tension because of naturally how my voice is, so it doesn't sound as deep as other people. But fundamentally, if you're starting to get that, you're starting to get that second, that vibration underneath. Just did something advanced here. You're not focusing on overtones yet. This is practice with this as well. At the same time as practicing the 'Khoomei' voice, practice the 'Khoomei' voice. Practice. 'Khoomei' voice. 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 'Khoomei' voi Dag Kargyraa. This is how it's called. I'm not sure if I mentioned it so far. After you get your Dag Kargyraa straight, just the voice. Practice with this voice. I wouldn't recommend speaking with it necessarily. Just sing one note. You take this voice, and what you do with it is with your lips you make overtones. You select overtones. And I mean, the theory here is that you have two voices at the same time. You have double the amount of overtones, because each voice, both the voice and the subharmonic, they both have overtones. So it could be a little harder to select the overtones, but listen and go slowly. For Dag, this is the basic thing. This is more advanced. You won't be doing this yet, but you can do it with an E vowel. You can do an over. And if you practice with this another few months, obviously you're practicing all of them. You're not going like stopping with Khoomei and then only doing Kargyraa. You're practicing everything you've learned so far, including just the voice. Everything, everything. Maybe not speaking. Like at this point, I don't practice speaking with. I only sing with throat singing. But everything else, even melody, whatever it is, you still practice everything. You don't just practice the last thing that I'm showing you. I mean, I don't want to. Sorry for speaking to you guys like you're dumb or something. Didn't mean to do that. And now you go back to the smoker's voice, and what you do, instead of closing it, you break it. And it should sound something like, obviously it won't sound exactly like this from the beginning, but you kind of start to get, it's like Kargyraa, but now you're doing Kargyraa by breaking the smoker's voice. Instead of closing it, you're not, instead of doing this, you're breaking it. And practice with this as well. Practice singing one note. Practice singing a melody with this voice. Notice I'm gonna, like, the two Kargyraas are related, because the range in which that Kargyraa is only low range, but as you go higher range, it naturally goes into you're using the Khovu Kargyraa, which is the one that I'm teaching, the fifth step, the Steppe Kargyraa. So practice singing a melody with it. Obviously it doesn't have to sound exactly like this. And let me just drink a little water. This was the fifth step. It's learning your Steppe Kargyraa. And congratulations. With this, you have the 3 techniques. I say 3, I show 4. But yeah, you have the 3 techniques that are used in Tuvan Throat Singing. So now what you're gonna need to be doing with this now is learning after you can sing a melody. So just again go back after you sing a little medley, all the styles, sing a melody with your voice, no overtones, just your voice, from your voice, with Khoomei voice, with Kargyraa. Also, one thing that I want to show you is that you notice that I'm using both that Kargyraa in the low range, and it just naturally switches. This is, I say, this is Dag. This is, no offense to Dag though, but this is Dag, and this is Khovu Kargyraa. And yep, there you have it, the 3 styles, the 3 techniques. Now you're gonna learn overtones, okay? You're gonna learn, and at this point you've probably been practicing for at least 1 year, probably even 2 years, just the voices itself to get them right. Now you learn the Khovu Kargyraa. You already know the voice, but you're learning to do overtones with it. So the same with that Kargyraa, but higher note means you'll have to open your mouth a little bigger. And here it will take a while. For me, it took years to be able to calibrate my throat, because this one was hard to do. This overtone. This was hard for me to get. So usually it's like you remember that underneath this, unlike the Kargyraa, underneath this voice, underneath this, because you have the subharmonic, right? It sounds like a lower voice, but you remember that you have your real, not necessarily natural, you have your real voice under that together with that subharmonic. It's kind of covered by it, hidden underneath. And that voice that is covered, hidden under the low subharmonic, is supposed to be it's like the Sygyt voice, you know. So you be careful, not, because people do it, they just do it from their normal, they do like from like their normal voice, and then they add the subharmonic to their normal voice, or to their natural voice, or they do Khoomei, and they try to break the Khoomei voice, which is also, because then you're putting too much pressure. So it's like controlling the real voice, that is the Sygyt voice underneath, controlling this voice while you're singing Kargyraa. And for me personally, I found that applying more pressure amplifies some overtones. These ones, I apply more pressure sometimes. For this, I leave it a little bit more, less tension. And you kind of like, it takes years to figure out. I've been a bad example again, because you need to do it even slower than this. And then you have some extra styles. It's obviously like the main ones, but it's the extra, it's like the second main ones. You know, you have Borban Nadir, which starting with the Khoomei voice, kind of like Khoomei, but you vibrate your tongue. You can do the same scale. You have the technique of berlang, which is vibrating your lips. You will see sometimes. This takes a long time to learn. You have the e vowel in Kargyraa as well. And you have Esengler, which I'm gonna need to blow my nose for this actually, because you need to have a clear nose because you're using your nose here more. Yeah, that my secret is revealed. I'm just using my gloves. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna wash them. I'm not that dirty. Wash them tonight. But yeah, so with Esengler, you basically use the like the thing that's hanging at the back of your mouth. And you're gonna do something like so it stays on the ceiling of the mouth and it like hits and goes back. My hand movements were probably worse. My throat is probably better in doing this than with my hands because I couldn't keep up with my hands, but you get the idea. Opening my mouth, kind of like make sure, because for a lot of people, that thing that's hanging there, it's stuck all the time. So it cannot hit if it's stuck. It hits once and it gets stuck. It's like there's mucus there. I know it's disgusting, but it's like mucus that's like stuck. The thing hanging at the back of the mouth, you make like it gets stuck there and it doesn't make a rhythm, or your nose is chunky and the sound doesn't get to You can do this with Sygyt as well. You can do a faster rhythm. Took years for me to learn. Combine it to make like my own thing. Like I combine the styles. And obviously, you know, there's start with a small rhythm, simple. This is how it's done, and obviously it'll take because you can know how it's done, but then it's like it takes a lot of years to practice. For me, it took years to be able to, because it always got stuck there, by the way. This is from my own experience. My nose was also always chunky. Like it took like a long time before I realized I have to blow my nose before doing it. But yeah, now you know. This is why I'm making this video. So I got all the techniques of Tuvan Throat Singing. I got Khoomei, Sygyt, I got Kargyraa, Da Kargyraa, Khovu Kargyraa. You can do Khoomei with Kargyraa as well for another video, like other styles for other videos, but this is like the styles of overtones: Khoomei, Sygyt, Kargyraa, Da Kargyraa, Khovu Kargyraa, Borban Nadur, and Esengler. And this is it for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful, and I'll have definitely more specific tutorials for each style, like, okay, Sygyt pro tips, how Like, this was just general introductory tutorial, but there's more coming, so make sure to follow my channel and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.